Good morning. This is Skoggit, and it's a fairly cool morning here in Tornado Alley, Texas. It's like 20 degrees outside. And got my cup of coffee here, and I'm going to have a story time. It's time for story time with Skoggit. This is a Halloween story, which happened like in 1989. And I called this story, Who Throwed Them Pumpkins? Back in 1989, I was a police officer in a small town of Shallowater, Texas. And every year, Shallowater, the football team, Shallowater, and the New Deal, which is a town which is about 13 miles from Shallowater, would have a football game. And it always was during the week of Halloween. And they were rivalries. New Deal and Shallowater were rivalries. And what would happen for the last few years would be the New Deal would come into Shallowater, to the town of Shallowater, and throw pumpkins all over the streets. And like I say, I was a police officer in 1989 in Shallowater, and there was three of us. There was the chief, another officer, and myself. And the patrol car what I had was the worst hand-me-down there was. It was 1984 Ford LTD, and it was, let me tell you, it was a piece of crap. The chief's car was a '89 Caprice Classic, and the other officer, his was about, I guess, 2 or 3 years old, and it was also Caprice Classic. It had the get up and go, and it would get up and go. Mine was, like I said, it's a piece of crap. We didn't have a uniform. We just wore our regular everyday clothes, because we didn't even have a uniform. And I'd wear my cowboy boots, blue jeans, white western shirt, my cowboy hat, my gun rig, and I had my badge, and I would have it in a holder on the pocket. And that's why I dress like that every day. Anyway, back to the story. Of course, like I said, they had a rivalry, and every Halloween they'd come into town and just throw pumpkins on the street. So I was out there on patrol and was driving around, and I noticed this pickup come into town. It was a black 1955 Chevy pickup. And it had like 3 high school kids in it driving around. They weren't doing anything. They were just cruising around. And I was on patrol, and I was like patrolling the city and everything. So I'm not seeing them really doing anything. And I go over to the school, and where the school sits, it's got the school here, and across the street from it was a convenience store, and then it has the Farmer Market Road, what runs to New Deal. So you had a Farmer Market Road running in front of that school, and it would take you to New Deal. So I'm sitting on the parking lot, and nothing's going on, and it's I guess it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and all of a sudden I see this sitting on the parking lot of the school, and I see this pickup truck, the black 1955 Chevy pickup truck, with someone in the back tailgate. The tailgate's down, and there's a guy in the back wearing a Halloween mask and he's throwing pumpkins out on the streets. So I'm like sitting there and I watch them. They're headed back to New Deal. So I go ahead and take pursuit on them. And my patrol car, like I say, it was a piece of crap. It had these light bars on it, what was real heavy. Man, that thing's thin. They're real high. I know you've seen them in movies, or maybe even your police department once had them. But it was like, they're about this high, and they're in a rectangle shape, and they go from one side of the top of the car to the other, has a siren in the middle, and they're just heavy and bulky. But the thing is about this car, what I had, was if you run the lights, the top lights, I call them rollers, the emergency lights, I knew I had 10 minutes of letting those things run before they would short out and start smoking. Okay, here's another thing. My patrol car, if I got it up to 60 miles an hour, then I knew I had about 10 minutes before it would like just shut off. I mean, it would just shut down. The car would shut down. So I'm in pursuit of this pickup truck, and he's like really hauling. And I'm getting up 60, I'm getting up 70, 80, and I'm like following this pickup truck, and he's gaining on me. I don't know what he had in there, but he had a pretty good engine, because it was really moving out, and I could still see him. And I had my lights on, and he wasn't stopping. And all of a sudden I noticed I smelled something, and the lights, I started getting smoke coming like inside the car, and the light bar was shorting out, and it was smoking. And then the car, from me driving it over 60, and I got it up, like I said, 80, it started like cutting out. And I had the siren going, and it's kind of funny now, but I had the siren and the lights going, and they were like that, you know, and all of a sudden it started going, so I pulled over to the side of the road, and they kept on going, and I never did catch them. So I had to end up calling for a tow truck from the city. He had to get over there and tow me back to town. And then it was, see, I think I got the chief's car, if I'm not mistaken. I might have got the other officer's car while they were fixing mine, letting it cool down a bit. And so anyway, I got the another patrol car out there, and I was back on patrol for the rest of the night. Just a funny story, but it really happened. I mean, it's just crazy. And something else is our patrol cars. If you ever saw like the old show Heat of the Night, like the series, it's exactly like those. We had the badge on the side of the door, and basically the same kind of lights. I think theirs a little thinner than ours, but man, I tell you what, if I'd have had the chief's car, I would have caught him. His car would do like, man, it'd do like 145 miles an hour. But I had that piece of crap, and ended up having the city had to clean up the pumpkins, what they threw out. And if I'd have caught these guys, what I would have done is I'd just had them come back and clean up their mess of the pumpkins, and that would have been it. If they refused to do that, then we'd have a problem. I wasn't out to arrest them or give them a record for, you know, doing a prank, Halloween prank, what we all did ourselves, or something similar to it, and did something stupid on Halloween. No, I've done them, but just a funny story, and I think back on it, and Sometimes I'll be sitting there and just think about it and laugh and say, boy, that was a piece of crap car. And it was. This is Skoggit. I appreciate all you viewers and subscribers out there. Hope you enjoyed this story. I have some more coming. And y'all take care.